Hey guys, welcome back to the channel, or welcome if you're new here. Today I want to talk, or should I say rant, about certain behaviors in the wrestling community, because sometimes there could be a very thin line between a passionate fan and a fan with a parasocial relationship with a lot of free time on their hands. I know every fandom has their own share of unhinged individuals, but as a wrestling fan myself, it just seems that everywhere I look I keep seeing these weird behaviors and it's almost hard to escape it. Because between stalking, harassing, or having parasocial mindsets, people forget that wrestling is scripted and that wrestlers are real people, not just the characters they play on TV or inside the ring. So today, I'm breaking down some of the most annoying and toxic behaviors in the wrestling community, at least to me. So get ready because I might go full heel for this one. This is why wrestling fans need to touch grass. Okay, let's get started. First, we have the line between a fan and a stalker. Let's talk about the entitled attitude some fans have when it comes to spotting or straight up stalking wrestlers in public. There's this weird mentality where some people genuinely believe that because they watch someone on TV and support them, they are owed a piece of their personal time whenever they want. Doesn't matter the location. The truth is, they don't. Wrestlers only owe you the match you pay to see or the show you're watching on TV. That's the transaction. If you want a photo or an autograph, go to a meet and greet, a convention, a fan event, and pay for it if that's what it takes. Even sometimes during live shows, they set up areas for when the wrestlers arrive to the venue so they can say hi to the fans. Just do that. You're not entitled to their time just because they're your favorite wrestler. And I always see this with celebrities of all kind. Fans getting obsessed when they're told no, so they say things like, oh, they wanted to be famous. They knew what they were signing up for. No one signed up to be harassed in public, especially at airports and hotels. Wrestlers have voiced that these two locations in particular are the worst moments to be approached. They're exhausted, banged up, and just want to get some rest. And I'm glad they're starting to be more vocal about this and saying no instead of normalizing it. You get situations like Rhea Ripley being swarmed in Paris, multiple wrestlers being mobbed in hotel lobbies in Las Vegas during WrestleMania. A recent example was CM Punk, who is one of the most outspoken wrestlers about this, was being approached at his hotel by a mom and her kids, and then, after he ignored them, they post a video online acting offended, saying to never meet your heroes. Adults love to use their kids as an excuse for this behavior instead of teaching them about boundaries. I personally saw this firsthand after full year 2023 ended. Hangman Adam Page ordered an Uber in the crew-only parking lot. He was wearing a black hoodie with the hood on, clearly trying to keep a low profile, but that didn't stop a dad and his kid from running after him to get a picture as he was trying to get his luggage in the car. Mind you, this was after his super intense death match with Swerve. The guy was all messed up and just wanted to get some rest. I was so glad he told him no and just got in the car. Boundaries aren't optional. Believe it or not, stalking wrestlers at public places isn't even the worst case scenario. There's been cases of freaks who get physical without consent during meet and greets. For example, a fan tried to kiss Paige on the lips, and both Elena Black, also known as Cora Jade, and Ethan Page were touched inappropriately as well. All these happen in conventions, by the way. The Elena Black situation was particularly infuriating because some losers online were saying she had it coming only because she had an OF where she posted bikini pictures. Then you have the fans who get physical during the actual shows. And listen, I'm all for shit talking the heels within reason, of course. But you have situations like Seth Rollins or Bret Hart getting attacked by fans, others getting shoved or hit by stuff thrown into the ring. Just recently, this little shit pushed Fallon Henley and threw something at JD McDonough. Parents, please teach your kids not to do this. I'm just glad I'm not a wrestler, otherwise I might have had to pull an Anakin. Other thing that isn't talked about enough regarding boundaries is the use of AI to make awful content without consent. I've seen some unhinged AI posts on social media of both male and female wrestlers, making it look like they're dating or making out with someone, like this weirdo right here whose videos are still up somehow. Yep, they need to open back the mental asylums. For some who make crazy AI thumbnails for clickbait like these, All this leads us to the Gunner problem, the segment of fans who objectify mostly female wrestlers regardless of the actual work they're putting in and completely forget that there's a real person behind the character. And it doesn't take long to find examples of this. Just click on any comment section and you will find a variety of this, between the typical sim comments to the most explicit and vulgar stuff saying all the things they would love to do to them. Then half these people use their real accounts with their real name and their family or significant other on their profile picture. You really can't make this stuff up. I've literally heard guys around me discussing the bodies of female wrestlers during shows, talking as if they were an object or as if they had any chance with them to begin with. No wonder why scammers have a field day within the wrestling community. Some people are so thirsty and delusional that they become an easy target. The pattern is almost always the same. Someone creates a fake account pretending to be a wrestler, slides into a fan's DMs, builds a fake relationship or friendship over weeks or months, and then starts asking for money because they need help with some fake emergency. Then we have the impossible standard. Here's the flip side. The second any wrestler gains weight, changes their shape, or just doesn't look exactly like they did 5 years ago, the comment section turns vicious. And while yes, it is normal to notice if someone looks different, what isn't normal is to tear them apart, whether it's making posts, making fun of them, or leaving unnecessary mean comments. This happened both to men and women. Cases like Adam Cole, Hikaru Shida, and Diona Purrazzo more recently. There's this expectation that wrestlers need to maintain one very specific look indefinitely, and any deviation from that gets treated like a personal failure instead of just being a human body that changes. The funniest thing is that a lot of time when I see these comments or posts, the person making them just look like they have no room to judge someone's looks after looking at their pictures. If you're gonna talk shit about someone else's looks, you better be jacked or look like a supermodel. Just saying. And last but not least, the IWC main character syndrome. Okay, so let's talk about the terminally online side of this fandom, the IWC, or the Internet Wrestling Community, for those who are not familiar with the term. But before I begin, I want to be clear, I'm not talking about people who casually enjoy discussing wrestling on the internet, even if it involves critiquing or making some jokes from time to time. I'm mostly talking about the ones tweeting 50 times a day, not giving any insight, but just being tribalistic, performative, or just straight up grifters. The type of people who spend all day being as nasty as possible on the internet. I'm still not sure if it's a big majority online, but they're definitely the loudest. First, we have the dogpile effect. The second you disagree with the group consensus, even slightly, you get dogpile. Doesn't matter if your take is reasonable, doesn't matter if you're a casual fan who just wants to share a genuine opinion. Say one nice thing about a wrestler the IWC has decided to hate, or one critical thing about a wrestler they've decided is untouchable, and you'll have 20 replies and DMs calling you all sorts of insults. Not to mention the love to gatekeep, to keep what they consider fake fans away as if they're employed by their favorite company and have a saying who can watch and enjoy the product. For example, I have been making wrestling videos for a bit over 3 months now, and I've already received all kinds of threats, slurs, and more because some nerds didn't like my opinion on a video of mine about WWE, or even because they thought it was a new fake AEW fan. So just remember, there's awful fans in every promotion. Then we have the marks who think it's real. I swear I've seen so many people acting like some feuds are real, and I've seen it mostly among women's storylines. There are these accounts referred as stan accounts, and they're basically obsessed with a wrestler, and a lot of them are just saying the most messed up things you can imagine about whoever their favorite is feuding with. I saw this a lot during Jade Cargill versus Rhea Ripley, as well as the Liv Morgan versus Stephanie Vaquer feud. Mind you, these people are usually grown men using a Liv Morgan profile picture. Unironically. Some even love to attack wrestlers for creative decisions they don't control. Yes, you're allowed to dislike the booking of a certain wrestler or the company in general. I've been there, trust me. But if you want to blame anyone, put it on the creative team or whoever is in charge of those decisions. While there are maybe a very few select wrestlers who can have some input in those decisions, fans act like if everyone on the roster calls the shots. Next, you have those ones rage baiting for engagement. Those grifting accounts that love to rage bait people, sometimes just to get a few cents from their friend Elon Musk or Mark Zuckerberg. Or sometimes they're not even monetized and just have shitty toxic takes for the love of the game, all for validation likes. Something hilarious that I keep seeing, especially on Facebook, is that some of these accounts use the worst AI imaginable to spread fake news, and marks with no critical thinking just fall for it. I always have a good laugh reading the comments of people getting worked by something so obviously fake. And last but not least, the holier-than-thou performative outrage crowd. Fans who have built their whole personality around being offended by everything. Trying to find ways to cancel someone, usually over the dumbest things you can imagine. And the funny thing is that they just pick and choose who they want to cancel. And if a wrestler responds, it usually just makes things worse. Even though they deserve to get called out for the stuff they're saying, they either backtrack and say, "It was just a joke, relax," or just play the victim, either one. Not to mention, if a wrestler defends themselves, they get accused instead of harassment, saying they sent their fans to bully the innocent small account. All this has just completely draws so many wrestlers of social media. Some recent cases that come to mind, where they completely deactivated the Twitter accounts for the over-the-top hate they were getting, are Harley Cameron, Samantha Irvine, Chelsea Green, and Alex Windsor. I don't blame them. At the end of the day, it's better to not waste your time on miserable people and let them be like the old man yells at cloud meme. So that's the list, and honestly it could have been longer. Between stalking, having parasocial relationships, lack of self-awareness, or just being a terminally online asshole, the common thread is that fans forget that the person in the ring or on their screen are actual human beings with a job, body, and a life outside of their fandom, and that's when things go off the rails. If you got other examples of this stuff, or if I missed something, drop it in the comments. And if any of you got offended over this because the shoe fits, well,
go cry me a river.
No, but really, take this as a sign to, and trust me, I hate this phrase, but to do better. That's it for today, guys. Thank you so much for watching, and just a reminder that channel memberships are available, as well as handmade accessories made by yours truly if you would like to support the channel directly. And don't forget to like, hype, and subscribe if you enjoyed the video, and if you didn't, do it anyways. Until next time, see ya.